Okay, let's get right to it. Our first ever Bring Me the News Novak weather update. It is Friday, May 1st. We're going to have a lot more of these here over time. So be ready, stay tuned. Let's get right into it. All right, what you're looking at right now, this is actually pretty interesting. This is the precipitation map now over the last 90 days. So basically, the last 3 months, basically from about the first of the year. And what you're seeing is that portions of eastern and southern Minnesota, along with a good chunk of Wisconsin, so we're talking right in this area here, northern Wisconsin, much of Wisconsin, in fact, have had above normal precipitation amounts over the last 3 months. Weird thing is that right here in the Twin Cities metro, even the northern metro, actually drier than usual over the last 3 months. A big focus, though, is not as much here in southern Minnesota and Wisconsin as it is what's happening over northern and western Minnesota. So that would be we'd be talking right in this area here. It's dry from International Falls, Lake of the Woods, south into the Alexandria, Fergus Falls area, and then continuing into eastern South Dakota. These are areas that we need to watch out for because I think there is the potential for at least a slight drought to begin to develop here over the next month or so in portions of northern western Minnesota, into South Dakota, and then northwestern Iowa. Okay, so but people here in eastern Minnesota and northern Wisconsin won't have to worry about any type of a drought anytime soon. But again, pretty interesting to see how much precipitation has fallen since about the first of the year here in the upper Midwest. And by the way, the drought index map, this is issued by the National Weather Service from NOAA, shows that the upper Midwest, we're pretty much clear of drought conditions right now. But again, I'm a little worried about this portion of eastern South Dakota, western Minnesota, and northern Minnesota. We need to watch these areas over the next month. Hopefully they can get some rain in those areas as we go through time. Okay, let's quickly get into the forecast. This weekend actually looks very nice, so we won't really focus on that. We are going to look at is what happens as we get into next week. This is the jet stream weather pattern, and those of you that follow Novak Weather and now Bring Me the News, you guys will find out that we like to talk about the jet stream quite a bit. This is the river of air at about 30 or 35,000 feet in our atmosphere. This is where the jet airliners put their flights on cruise control, and it's also our steering pattern in our environment and in our atmosphere. So we like to look at the jet stream all the time. And right now, as we get into the weekend, you can clearly see on Saturday and Sunday, we have a pretty fast west to east flow across the northern portion of the United States. Hence, we're going to be relatively mild or warm this weekend. But watch what happens as we get into next week. And this is kind of a problem if you're looking for warm air or warm weather. Our winds start turning out of the northwest from Canada. We're going to have air masses come directly from Canada into the upper Midwest by midweek. That means cold conditions. In fact, even as we get into later next week and weekend, look at this powerful storm system over eastern Canada, basically over Ontario. And the winds are turning counterclockwise with this storm system, bringing cold air straight from Canada south into the northern United States, including the upper Midwest. That's a cold, cold weather pattern for this time of year. We're probably going to be talking about temperatures a good 10, 20 plus degrees below normal as we get into later next week. Here's the temperatures in the lower layers of our atmosphere at 850 millibars. You can see this weekend fairly mild temperatures here over the upper Midwest. But watch, I want you to focus on what's happening up here in Canada, okay? By the way, just for geographic reference, here's the Twin Cities in southern Minnesota. All right, watch what happens as we get into early next week and then middle of next week. Look at this storm system pull down cold air out of Canada. This is some real cold stuff for this time of year. So the message to all our viewers here right now is I don't think we're going to get below freezing, at least in the core Twin Cities metro. But still, a good chunk of Minnesota and northern Wisconsin does have the potential to be near or below freezing with temperatures as we go through time later next week and weekend, the way it appears. And this colder environment lasts for about a good 5 to 10 day period. So we're going to be stuck with cold weather, the way it appears, from about Monday or Tuesday of next week through probably about the middle portions of May. So I know not a lot to look forward to, but we've been babied lately with the nice weather that we've had, and it's kind of time for us to pay the piper, for lack of a better phrase. Okay, thank you for joining me on my first ever broadcast here with Bring Me the News. This is great. I can't wait to do a lot more of these. Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend.